Miss J again. Today we're going to talk again about author's purpose, which is the reason why the author wrote a book. So my turn and your turn. Persuade.
Persuade.
Inform.
Inform.
Entertain.
Entertain.
And like we talked about 2 weeks ago, persuade is when the author is trying to convince you of something. Inform is when the author is trying to tell you facts about a place, a person, or just something really interesting. And entertain is when the author really just wants you to enjoy the book and what you're reading. So when we're reading this book, I want you to think and use the sentence stem. The author's purpose is to blank us by blank. And as you think and as you read this book, I also want you to list two to three reasons of how do you know this is the author's purpose. Alright? Today's book is going to be Maybe Something Beautiful, How Art Transformed a Neighborhood by F. Isabel Campoy and Teresa Howell. Remember, we're reading this to find out the author's purpose as well as figuring out two to three reasons why you know this is the author's purpose. Maybe Something Beautiful. In the heart of a gray city, there lived a girl who loved to doodle, draw, color, and paint. Every time she saw a blank piece of paper, Mira thought to herself, maybe. And because of this, her room was filled with color and her heart was filled with joy. On her way to school one day, Mira gave a round apple to Mr. Henry, the owner of the shop down the street. She gave a flower to Miss Lopez, the lady with the sparkling eyes. She gave a songbird to Mr. Sachs and a red heart to the policeman who walked up and down the streets. On her way home, Mira tapped a glowing sun onto the wall hiding in the shadows. Her city was less gray, but not too much. The next day, Mira saw a man with a pocket full of paintbrushes. He gazed at the wall. He looked at her son. He held his fingers up in a square and peered through them. He said thoughtfully. What do you see? Mira asked. So maybe something beautiful, the man replied. Then, just like that, he dipped a brush in the paint. Bam! Pow! The shadows scurried away. Sky blue cut through the gloom. The man's laughter was like a rainbow spreading across the sky. Wow, we're beginning to see colors everywhere now. Who are you? Mira asked. I'm an artist, he said, a muralist. I paint on walls. I'm an artist too, she told him. He handed Mira a brush. Then, come on. Mira dipped it in the loudest color she saw. Yowie! The wall lit up like sunshine. As the man drew pictures on the bricks, Mira added color, punch, and pizzazz. Soon Mr. Sachs joined in. Then came others. Everyone painted to the rhythm. Salsa, merengue, bebop. Even Mira's mama painted and danced the cha-cha-cha. The whole neighborhood became a giant block party until... what do you think is going to happen next? The policeman walked up. Excuse me, he said. The music stopped. Mira put her brush down. They were surely in trouble. Then the officer cleared his throat, then paused. May I paint with you? He asked. So Mira handed him a paintbrush, and the music started again. Wow. Teachers and papas jumped in, babies too. Mira and the man handed out brush after brush. Color spread throughout the streets. So did joy. Whenever Mira and the man went, art followed like the string of a kite. After they colored the walls, they painted utility boxes and benches. They decorated sidewalks with poetry and shine, and everyone danced. Together, they created something more beautiful than they had ever imagined. When their clothes were splattered with millions of color, everyone sat down to rest, except the muralist. His eyes sparkled. You, my friend, are all artists, he told them. The world is your canvas. He smiled wide, then pulled everything together in a big, sweeping motion. His paintbrush was like a magic wand. When he was finished, Mira added one more bird way up in the sky. Maybe, she thought, just maybe. So this book is actually based on a real story of two couples in the city of San Diego, basically turning their whole city, which is gray, into this colorful city. They painted on benches, painted on utility boxes. They actually made murals everywhere, including putting quotes of Martin Luther King, Cesar Chavez, and Gandhi everywhere on the sidewalks. This is a story based on a true story. So, think about this for yourself. What do you think is the author's purpose? And can you think of 2 to 3 reasons of why you think that way? So I'm going to show you, when you read your own book later on this week, I want you to write in full sentences. And this is what you're going to use on your exit ticket. And I'm going to show you with my example here. Author's purpose. The title is Maybe Something Beautiful. Author is Isabel Campoy and Teresa Howell. I think the author's purpose is to persuade. And I'm going to use a full sentence, using the full sentence, this sentence done, to write my author's purpose. So I wrote, the author's purpose is to persuade us that we can work together to make something beautiful. That's right. And my 2 to 3 reasons, I also wanted to put it in full sentences. Reason number 1, the title is Maybe Something Beautiful. 2, the characters in the story work together to make their community colorful and beautiful. And my reason number 3, the book is inspired by a true story of people working together. Those are 3 reasons that show me that I have a really strong claim that this is the author's purpose, is to persuade us that we can all work together to make something beautiful and colorful. So as you read your own book this week, think about what's the author's purpose and fill out the exit ticket. Awesome. I hope to see you next week. Bye.